Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you are having a great day. Now today is going to be part one of completely rustifying beep, or de-rustifying beep. Now I don't even know if de-rustifying is even a word, but pretty much what I mean is we're going to be getting rid of all of the rust on beep. Now this is a long time coming. I've had beep for about 3 years now, and I always told myself I'm going to fix all the rust, I'm going to fix all the rust, and I just never fixed all the rust because it's a long, tedious process where you need to learn skills that not everybody has, like cutting, grinding, sanding, welding. Today's only going to be part one. Today we're just going to be cutting out all the rusty spots. Now as you can see, I've already started to cut out this one rocker panel. This is one of the things that we're going to be cutting out. We're going to be cutting this floor pan out. I have the new floor pan right behind my new quarter panel, and we're going to place it down, trace it out, cut it out. And then we have a hole back here that needs to be replaced. And then this is the big portion of it. We are going to be finally fixing the right rear quarter panel. We're going to be cutting this entire quarter panel out, along with my mess of a patch that I did. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link to it in the description or up on the screen. I think I can do that now. But yeah, me and Gio, pretty much, I think it was the end of last summer, we tried to patch this hole, and obviously it did not go the best. But I'm going to talk more about that in the welding video when we weld all the new stuff in. But today we're just going to be cutting all this shit out. So I'm going to get back to welding, or grinding out and cutting this rocker panel out. Now the main reason that I was cutting this entire rocker panel out is because of this right here. As you can see, it is all smushed in and rusty. So I'm just cutting the whole thing out. I already cut the other side out because the other side was far worse. Yeah, as you can see, there's no rocker panel over here. I need to finish cutting this part out. I need to take the fenders off so I don't nick it. But I think I'm going to be running no rockers for right now. I know it's really popular for people to weld in like flat steel. I think it's called 2x8 steel. I think that looks kind of shitty. I think Iron Rock sells a kit where you can weld in, like, it's kind of like a step, but it's also armor. But for right now, we're just going to be cutting this out and we're not going to be worrying about it. I'm probably going to prime it so that doesn't rust again. I need to sand it all out, obviously. I just bought, I don't even know where it is now. I just bought these new attachments. It's kind of dark in here. Let me go into the lighted room. But I bought these attachments for my air die grinder just because of the fact that I know I'm going to need to be sanding a lot of the rust away, especially when I start to weld, because I need to obviously clean the spot to weld. That was one of my issues last time, was it was way too rusty, and you cannot rust when it's very you cannot weld when it is very rusty. So I'm gonna stop yapping and we're gonna get back to work. really need to invest in some ear protection because my ears are ringing. But I finished cutting this rocker out. As you can see, I need to finish cutting just up here and then cutting the rest of the pinch weld out here. And that's probably going to be the hardest part because it's a lot thicker than the regular metal that they use for the body. I also got something in my eye. I think it was a spark, and now it's really irritated. So I should be wearing safety glasses. I think I'm going to move on to the floor pan next. I need to move these bolts because they're going to be in the way. Now, I think the way that I'm going to go about this is I'm going to put the new floor pan in. I've had this for so long. I've had this for, I think, over a year. Yeah, I bought this like last spring, and it is now spring again. So I've had this for about a year, and I haven't put it in. I don't know. I've been procrastinating this for so long because it's a lot harder than doing a lot of the other stuff that I've done to the Jeep. But we are looking like, I've never actually laid this in here, but it extends a lot past the seat riser right here that the seat actually mounts to. So I might need to cut that out and then end up custom fabbing the new seats in. But yeah, this is what we are looking like. I'm gonna trace this out real quick and then I'm gonna get to cutting. Well, I can't find a Sharpie, so I guess we're eyeballing it. Another one. All right, so it's been a minute since I've recorded anything. This is what we're looking like right now. We've got some of it out. This is my floor pan right here, ladies and gentlemen. My old one, at least. This is very hard. A lot harder than I thought it would be. Only because there's this center, this is the frame, the unibody of the car, and the floorboard is welded to the unibody of the car. So you kind of have to scrape it up, and that's why it's peeling up in like a ball like that. It's not just like you cut out a square or a shape and then you weld in the new shape. You literally have to peel this thing off the fucking frame. And my frame is starting to break there. A little bit, not break, it's just the way I've been peeling it up. It's starting to rip it up a little bit. And all this freaking nasty shit. Alright, so I've pretty much cut out all that I need to cut out. I need to do a little bit more up here. I need to cut all this section out. And then we're gonna start test fitting the new floor pan. So I wanna keep my seat riser. I don't wanna buy a new one. I don't wanna weld a new one in. And the only way to take this out is to completely destroy it that I know of. So I think what I'm gonna be doing is just marking this one right here and just cutting it because I don't need any of this back space anyway to be. I don't need new metal there. It's not rotted at all here. It's not rusted at all here. I can just clean this up with the with this bad boy and then just repaint it. But look at all this nasty shit that's in my frame rail. So much nasty shit. And I'm gonna try and scrape all of this out, because this sitting in here is definitely causing it to rust even more, especially once it gets wet. So I'm going to try and get the most out of here that I can. So I have my shop back here, and I'm going to vacuum all of this out now. Alright, really quickly off camera, I just took this piece out. As you can see, I do have to pack up and leave now because it is 4:30 and I'm only allowed to work out until 5 o'clock. One of the biggest reasons why I'm leaving this place, because still lots of daylight out and lots of time, and I'm not allowed to work here past 5. So we made a lot of progress today. Cut this rocker panel out. I cut most of the floor out over here. I cut this piece out. I'm gonna watch some videos or try to find something online of where I'm exactly supposed to cut on this so that I don't mess this up. But then after that, welding time.
Day 2.
Alright guys, it is day 2 working on the beep, trying to get rid of all of the rust. So I got my air die grinder with my, I'm gonna call it a magic eraser wheel on it. And I've already started, as you can see, getting all the rust off, but pretty much what I'm doing today is trying to sand down most of the rust. Anything where I'm going to need to contact with welding, I need to get that as clean as possible so the welds are all clean. So all the way around here. I'm also going to be trying cleaning up in here, and then I'm going to be spraying this with primer. Also, I don't think I'm going to tackle this today. I think I'm going to tackle this tomorrow because I still need to figure out like exactly how I'm going to be cutting this out. But this will probably be tomorrow. And then I'm also going to be sanding down all of this rust over here because this all needs to get painted, and same as all over here. So a little bit of an update. I currently have the Jeep jacked up so that I can start sanding underneath inside the rocker panel. But I have this somewhat fitted. I'm taking a break from it because it was kind of pissing me off, but I have it in mostly. It's just I need to get it in fully because, as you can see, it is not flat against the rail. And I'm probably going to end up sanding or cutting this back a little bit more, sanding it, and then welding it underneath as well. So I kind of need it to sit flush. But as of right now, we are currently working on this abomination. You can see I already started in some places. But we're going to get this all cleaned up so that I can prime it so that it doesn't continue to rust even further. So I ended up taking this fender off right here because I needed to get access to this corner right here that I needed to cut out. I cut all that out. I trimmed it all the way down. It's somewhat sanded. It's good enough. Primer will stick to it. I'm probably going to clean it with some degreaser first, and then I'm going to spray it down with the air, or I'll spray it down with the air first and then degrease it and let it dry. And then this part is ready to get primed. Same with up here. This is all dirty. I need to clean it. I ended up cutting out all the bolts that were here that held in that stupid little plastic trim piece because they were all completely rusted down and stripped out. And I think that's all the progress for right now. Really happy with how this is turning out so far. I think eventually I definitely am going to be getting the armor plate things that you weld in right here, but for right now this is completely fine. Alright, so I got it all cleaned up, as you can see, and this is the primer that I'm going to be using, and we're just going to be priming it so that it doesn't rust over before it gets painted, because all this is getting painted, and before I weld in whatever I decide to weld in over here underneath, whether it be like the protective panels that I know Iron Rock Off-Road sells, or some 2x6 metal framing, whatever I end up doing. So this is just protection so that all the rusty bits that I just sanded down don't get even more rusty, and we don't get any more rot holes. This looks really good. I'm gonna let this dry, probably put a second coat on it in about 30 minutes or so. But this came out a lot better than what I thought it would, honestly. Like I said, this is just temporary, just until we permanently either weld something in here and then everything gets painted. Just rust prevention, and I'm pretty proud of myself. Alright, so I got this hole cleaned up a whole bunch. Should be ready for stuff to get welded in here. On this side, I cut, there's a giant piece right here that I had cut out because both sides were rotted. You can see on the other side here, I did the same. I cleaned up all along here and up here. The next major step is going to be cutting this out, but before we do that, I'm going to jump the Jeep, turn it around so I can finish doing this side. I also forgot that since I am doing all of the cutting and loud stuff here, I don't know if I even really explained that. So pretty much, as you guys know, I am going to be leaving this shop at the end of April. It is currently, let's see, currently April 14th. So I have about like 2 weeks before I do have to leave this shop, and I'm going to be bringing the Jeep home. And I can't be doing that much loud stuff at my house because I don't want to get evicted. That's one of the main reasons why I started renting out the shop, so that we can do whatever the fuck we really wanted to. And then we ran into all the problems where my neighbors were complaining, so the landlord said I can only work here 9 to 5. So pretty much I'm rushing towards the end of April to try and finish all of the loud stuff. And the loud stuff consists of grinding, cutting, and sanding all of the rust away. And I completely forgot that we need to cut this fender, and we need to cut and fold this quarter panel. So I'm gonna see how far I get with the other side rocker panel wise, and if we do have some time, I might start watching videos on how to properly cut the fender, because that's how this whole scenario started, where I overcut. Pretty much what happened is I cut way too much material out, and it's all flimsy now and all rusty and looks like shit. So now I have to weld in a brand new quarter panel on this side, but on this side I haven't fucked up yet. So hopefully we can just cut this panel. I know the basics of it, where you just cut slits and hammer it in, but I'm not completely sure because on the other side my quarter panel was all rusted out, so pretty much none of this was here. And there is a thing that you can do called the cut and fold, where you cut it and you increases and then you fold it in so it is flat right here, so that once this is all cut out, the quarter panel ends right here, so you can fit much bigger tires, which is something we're going to want because we're going to be on 110s and 40s eventually. So that is another thing added to the list of to-dos, but we're making some pretty good progress. I'm pretty proud of myself, being that I'm the only one here right now and I'm slaving away, but having a lot of fun doing it. This is a bunch of stuff that is long past due, I should say. And yeah, let me stop fucking yapping and let me turn this Jeep around. Alright, so I got the Jeep backed up, turned around, and I went to start this side rocker panel, and my generator died, and I don't have any more gas for it. So we're gonna have to stop today because by the time I go get gas and get back, it's gonna be time to pack up anyway. But either way, it's gonna be a lot more work on this side than I thought. I completely forgot how bad this side was rust-wise. There's a hole here, there was a hole here that got patched, and there's a hole there, and there was a hole right there that was patched. So I'm not sure if I can even prime this side, or I can, because I can just patch from this side, so we're not going to paint the inside yet anyway. So tomorrow when I come here, I'm gonna sand all this down as well as I possibly can. Holy shit, you can see these terrible welds that my friend did. Not his fault though, we had the wrong welder set up. Anywho, yeah, I'm gonna stop yapping and I will see you guys tomorrow. Alright guys, it is day 3 of working on removing all of the rust. Today we are tackling getting rid of all of the rust on this side rocker. I need to finish cutting out this side rocker. I think I'm gonna start to sand out all the rust that's in here as well. And then we are going to be moving on to cutting and folding this fender and quarter panel. And I definitely don't think I'm going to get to this today, but after that the final piece would be cutting out this quarter panel right here. But we're going to get started on this rocker panel. It shouldn't take that long, and then yeah, move on from there.
Day 3.
Alright guys, it is day 3 of working on removing all of the rust. Today we are tackling getting rid of all of the rust on this side rocker. I need to finish cutting out this side rocker. I think I'm going to start to sand out all the rust that's in here as well. And then we are going to be moving on to cutting and folding this fender and quarter panel. And I definitely don't think I'm going to get to this today, but after that the final piece would be cutting out this quarter panel right here. But we're going to get started on this rocker panel. It shouldn't take that long, and then yeah, move on from there. Alright, so I'm making the executive decision that all this just needs to be replaced. We're in here anyway. I'm trying to get rid of all the rust. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be cutting out just sections at a time, probably like from here to here, because this is the seat bolt bracket, so I don't want to mess with that right now. And then probably from where the seat bolt bracket ends to right here, which is where the seat riser is, and then from here to over here. I'm also going to cut this out real quick. So we're probably not going to paint down here yet. I'm going to paint up here because all this is bare metal now and I don't want it to get rusty anymore. I also tried to get as much rust off of this as possible. This is as good as I'm going to get. I could sit here forever and get it all down to bare metal, but as long as the surface rust is off, I can spray it with some primer and it should be fine. Now the other day I got a spark in my eye and I said that I should be wearing some safety goggles, and I completely forgot that I have my welding helmet, and my welding helmet has a grinder setting on it so that it doesn't actually knock out any light. So I'm going to be using this and hopefully not get any more sparks in my eyes. I don't know if y'all can tell how smoky it is in here, but the stupid like body filler shit that they use from the factory, like this stuff, cutting it with a grinder makes a lot of smoke. I think I used this is the most worn down grinder blade I have ever fucking seen. But as you can see, I'm gonna leave this side actually. This side isn't that bad. It is starting to like flake here, but there's a patch right here and it's actually holding pretty well. So I'm just gonna leave that there. Obviously I need to clean this up. Oh, there we go. But this is all cut out. This is all cut out as well. I do need to clean up some of the rust spots a little bit, but that should not be a problem. What the fuck is this? That shouldn't be a problem. Like obviously, you know, clean this up a little bit, just bend this off. But this is mostly ready to be welded. I need to clean up my giant mess that I made in here. I'm probably gonna do that next. Clean all this area so it's nice and clean like over there. And then we're going to be flipping the Jeep around and we're gonna be cutting and folding my fender and quarter panel. Alright, so I got this all cleaned up, all those shavings and everything are all vacuumed up. I can't get it as sparkly white as this side because it's a lot more rusty over here. But I ended up painting or priming as well. I primed up everything that was bare metal, so even the stuff that needs to get welded over, because I can just sand that down again really quickly before I weld it. And I don't want it to get all rusty again, so This is all primed up. And we're gonna lower this bitch down now and flip her around. All right, so I got the Jeep flipped around. I got a brand new cutting wheel on my grinder, and we're gonna start to cut my fender. Now, the last time that I tried this, I cut, I'm pretty sure, all the way up to this crease right here. And I do believe you're only supposed to cut to this crease. I'm gonna watch a video real quick and make sure, but pretty much what you do is you cut little tabs all the way around, and then you bend them in, and it comes off as like a very clean fold. And then on this, for the quarter panel, I have to watch the video because I have absolutely no clue how you do this, and I'm just gonna follow step by step. I already have a YouTube video. I think it's from, I forget the name. I'll put the link to the video where I watch. So if you guys at home want to try this as well, you can, because as I always say, I am not a how-to channel. I am just a follow along my build progress channel. Alright, that actually turned out pretty good. Obviously, I still have some more fine-tuning to do with the hammer because they're all still a bunch of little cuts, but I can smack those up even harder and even more so that it fully bends, and then the crease is gone and it ends right here. But I'm super happy with how this turned out. Look at where'd the hammer go? The head of my hammer, it's covered in primer now. I didn't go all the way down because obviously I'm folding this in, so this doesn't matter anyway. So I'm gonna pull up a video real quick on how to do that, and then we're gonna do that. And once this is folded in, I'm probably gonna fine tune this, because the only thing left after is the quarter panel on the other side. And I do believe that's gonna take a full day because of how big of a project it's going to be. So after I'm done with this, if I still have time, I'm probably gonna do some like small minor things, touching stuff up. I might come back over here and cut out more of the floor over here because I still haven't cut the rest of this out. I want to cut all this out and see if I can get that floorboard sitting flush. And then once that's done, then we're pretty much done here and it's ready to go home and start welding. So I have successfully cut and folded my rear quarter panel along with cutting my fender. Obviously, still needs some work. And this is what the cut and fold is looking like. It's sticking out a little bit here. I need to smash it in more here. And then I'm guessing that we're gonna weld it on this side because this is the only side that really has enough material to weld to. But as I was smacking this, this isn't my rear bumper, but like the rear of my car is literally just disintegrating. I bet if I whack it with the hammer, it will just all fall apart. So that's another thing. But this is gonna be getting covered up by a fancy off-road bumper, so that doesn't really matter. Alright, so it's only 2:30, so I still have like 2.5 hours till I have to leave. So I think I'm gonna take this seat out and I'm going to try and fit this floor pan in the best I can. I need to cut more out. Now my grinder fucking exploded once again because I let it get too short. And once it gets like this, the piece that holds the actual grinder disc on is incredibly hard to take off. Also, the fact that I'm using a pair of needle nose pliers because I lost the tool. So it's all gonna depend if I can get this freaking die grinder blade off. Alright, so I did a little something off camera. I said that I was gonna wait, but I didn't wait. I cut this piece out. Now this piece is part of the inner fender. This was the most rusted, janky piece. And it looks a whole lot cleaner now without it, as you can see. But you can see straight up into the cab now, along with over here. But we still need to cut and fold this as well, and then cut this fender. So I'm thinking what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this fender. I'm gonna see if I can self-tap it in for right now, because the only thing that's holding it on is gravity. And then we're gonna see if we can cut and fold this rear quarter panel right here, and then cut these fenders as well so that they match the other side. But I think this is the best route to go instead of cutting the entire thing out, because I can sand all this down and weld all along here. I can do it all on the same here. And then also on the inside, it's going to be held in from the inner tub right here to the inner fender liner right here. So that'll be another point of contact where it's being held in. And then honestly, if I really need to, I can also weld it up here and then just grind it down. So that when it's painted, it'll be nice and flush and flat. But we'll see. Alright, so I have the Jeep all pulled out so I can kind of go over everything that we've done in today's video. First up on this side, we finished cutting out the entire rocker panel, primed it all. That's all set for whenever I decide to weld in whatever I want to weld in. Over here, we finished cutting out the entire floorboard, and this floorboard is ready to go in. We cut and folded my rear quarter panel and my rear fender. Obviously, I still need to do a little bit of work on these, but those came out very nicely. I'm very happy with that. Coming around to the back here, we cut out this hole, and this is ready to get welded. We cut out this section, and this section is ready to get welded. We have the brand new quarter panel that's going to be going in next video. That's all going to get welded in. And then over here, as you can see, I fully cut out all the rust spots that were on the inside of this rocker panel, and I fully cut out this rocker panel as well. And whatever is ready to get welded in, whatever is ready to get welded in will go in here. Along with, in the next video, we will be welding in some metal to cover up these holes. And yeah, I'm super happy with the progress that we've made on the Jeep today. I've gotten everything done that I've wanted to do for a long time now, or at least the first portion. Next video is going to be a whole lot of welding. I'm gonna get a brand new welding setup and pretty much teach myself how to weld, fixing all of the holes that we cut in today's video. But that's going to be part 2, and that's where I am going to be leaving it off for today's video. Let me know what you guys think of the progress so far. Let me know if I did anything wrong, because I'm super new to this, all the custom fab stuff, bodywork, all of that. So if you're more experienced than me, put it down in the comments. Any suggestions, tips, all of that stuff is very much appreciated. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. Peace.